Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, March the 28th, 2025, and welcome back to my Flosstube channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross stitch, and there's Gracie. And if you are returning to my channel, welcome back. Mr. Whiskers is on the other side of the room. I was looking to see if he was going to walk over towards me. Are you gonna come over and say hi? Come here. No. Okay. Let's wait. Oh, he ran away. Okay. All right. So let's get into the stitching. Wait, do I have any updates? I don't think so. No. Okay. Let's get into the stitching. Here's my board. I got a lot of work done. A lot. I got half of my Monopoly stitching done. I did a crap ton of stitching on the other projects, so that is awesome. Spoiler alert, I have two finishes. Two finishes. How friggin' awesome is that? Two finishes. Okay. It's like a flashback to the beginning of the year where I was getting all the finishes done. Okay, first up, two finishes, 2 additional goals met. So 4 things to cross off the big board today. The big Blues Clues board. That's awesome. Okay. First up is my whip of shame for the month of March. This is Designs for the Needle beat up cover photo because it's so old. I think it's called Muppet on Indian Carpet, but I just call it Cat on Indian Carpet. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And I wanted to get the goal done before the final Flosstube of the month, which is today, which I did. So, I forgot my board. This thing. Okay. So, this week, I did 1,177 stitches on this, and the before photo that got me to the 3,100 I needed for the month of March. So the before photo is going to be the beginning of the month picture, because this is the last time that you're going to see this for a bit. So this is what it looked like at the beginning of the month. And here is where we are now. So I did a total this month of 3,100 stitches. As you can see, I worked the carpet down. This is the bottom corner of the piece. So I was able to work the carpet down to the bottom corner, so that's awesome. And on the kitty cat, I got almost his entire paw stitched. And in his face, there's part of a nose, boop, and part of an eye. So, there we go. So that's where he's at. I say it'll be a bit before he comes back out again, because I don't have any other plans for him until he gets pulled for a whip of shame again, which won't be for at least 4 months, and then he has to win the voting. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Next up is one of my Monopoly pieces. I think this is for the penguin. The penguin purchased a property. Penguin purchased B&O Railroad. And this is Mother Nature Christmas. Hang on, let me get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so the penguin purchased Mother Nature Christmas for 400 stitches. This is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine from 2023. I want to say it was like the very last issue of 2023. And that is what she is going to look like when she is done. I am doing this with a called for DMC on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco, 2/2. And here's where I am now. So I worked a little bit more in her chest. I don't like talking about stitching skin. It grosses me out. So I worked in her chest area and worked over to her arm, and then I wanted to get over here and get the lantern that she's holding. I wanted to get that cross stitch, so I worked a color in her sleeve until I was able to get over closer to the lantern, and I got the lantern all stitched up. So 400 stitches on that. So the next time she comes out, I will probably fill in whatever stitching is right next to this, and then I'll back stitch the lantern there to get that done. Excuse me. I started getting all stuffy. Was it today or yesterday? My nose started feeling like it was getting stuffed up. I was like, man, I hope I'm not getting sick again. That would suck. Okay. And then is my piece I work on whenever a player passes Go. And this is Catching Rays by the Cross Stitch Studio. Charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. And this is my million stitch project. It's 1200 by 900, has 134 colors. It's got a total of 1,080,000 stitches. It's my biggest piece. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing it with the called for DMC 1/1 full cross on a 32 count easy count Lugana. I've had some people ask me where I get the easy count Lugana in such a large piece. I got it on 123 Stitch. I just did a search for easy count Lugana, and if you do a search for a specific size, it'll pull it up. Like I did a search for a 32 count easy count Lugana, pulled it right up, and they have different size options for you to pick from. So I'm going to show you where I worked first. So I finished the diagonal down here. There was just a little bit left to do. And then I came up here and I decided I got some stitches done in that diagonal up there. And I decided to do what I'm doing for Honeymoon Sunset and doing 2 diagonals at a time. So yeah. And then these are the pages that I've actually like completed. This one's not complete. It's almost done, but it's not quite done. But look how good as much as I hate palm trees, look how good that section of the palm tree looks. Looks fabulous. But yeah, so that's where I worked. So I did 200 stitches for the, I didn't write down, I'm looking on my whiteboard here. I didn't write down what pieces they were, and the notebook that I have where all the things are is in my desk. I think this was it doesn't matter. Somebody passed Go. It might have been the duck. But, so anyway, I did 200 stitches, and so I am now sitting at 26,474 stitches done out of 1,080,000, and I am at 2.45% complete. So there is that one. And then my third Monopoly piece is from somebody landing on a thing and paying rent. I don't remember who it was, but this is Stitchography. This is from Fat Quarter Shop. This was a World Cross Stitch Day pattern for them for 2021. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Well, that's what theirs looks like. I'm doing some color changes on mine. So I'm doing it 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white Monaco, and I had to do 300 stitches on it. And that is where I'm at with it now. So I have some etoile that my mom had given me. So it's all glittery. And so I'm just looking at the colors I have, looking at the colors that are on the pattern here, and just picking a color that I want to go in that spot. So kind of like going with that color scheme, but also kind of picking my own at the same time. But I got 300 stitches done on this. Liking how that's turning out so far. I think I'll keep working in this like section right here before I move on to like, I mean, I did that star, but I'll probably finish this before I move on to the other stuff. So there is that. Okay, next up, we're moving on to my weekly polls. So first one I'm going to show you is my full coverage focus for 1%. If you are new, late last year, I wrote down all of my full coverage projects that were not at 1% yet. And I'm just I picked 5 and I'm rotating through them. I'm looking for the one I was working on. Here it is. Rotating through them until they hit 1%. Once they hit 1%, they get put into my WIP pile, and like my big one that I'm not actively working on, and I replace it with another one. So this one is Day to Night North America. This is a retired chart from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Lars Stewart. So this is no longer available on Pain Free Crafts, but it is available on Heaven and Earth Designs as Night to Day North America, I believe. This is 650 by 464. I don't know how many colors it is, but that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I had written on my goal board that I needed like 1,104 stitches, but when I was stitching, I hit 1,100 and I hit the goal. So I was just like 4 stitches off with my math, so that's not bad. So I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on I think this might be a 28 count, easy count Lugana. So I did, let me see, here we go. Here we go. So I did 1,100 stitches on this. I am now sitting at 3,012 stitches completed out of 301,600. I am at 1.00%. So I worked my way over. This right here is the moon that's going to be coming in. So that's exciting. Yay! So got that goal done. Check. So we can replace it with the new full coverage focus, which I will announce the winner for that one later in the video. Okay. Next up is my non-full coverage focus, where I rotate through 5 pieces that are not full coverage and do 4,000 stitches on them. This week it was Hive Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches, designed by Lindsay Waite. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing this with a called for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white Jobelin. And this is where I got to with it. My fabric is all folded up. Do not fret, do not panic. It's just folded. But I did 700 stitches on it. And so I finished this whole section right here and came down and started working on this section down here. So let me come back up to the top. Look how cute that is. So that little part right there is going to say mind your own beeswax. So happy with this one. It's super adorbs. Love it. All right. Next is going to be my new start rotation. And so I have like 9, I'm up to like 9 new starts. It was supposed to just be 5 that I rotate through to get 3,000 stitches. I'm up to 9 because of extra starts that I spontaneously decided to do. But this one here is the Friends frame. It was a cross stitch kit that came like stamped and came with the thread and the hoop and all that. Came with the 2 colors there, the orange and the yellow, which turned out to be quite bright for this, I felt, but it turned out okay. So here is where it is. It is done. I got to finish. Hallelujah. I did 1,150 stitches on this. And if you saw last week's video, you saw how I was complaining about the printing. So somebody was saying it would wash out, but this is a printed Aida. And I wasn't sure if the print, like if the pattern would wash off or not. And I also didn't want to mess up the color of the Aida. So what I did was I picked a purple that happened to match this fabric pretty damn close. 3746. I just kind of looked through my purples. I had an idea because I knew the 500s was gonna, like the 550s, they were not gonna be the right shade. And then I was sitting there looking, I was like, you know, this kind of reminds me of like the 3700 range. And I started digging through my 3700s and 3746. I held it up against the fabric and I was like, wow, that is a very close color. So I just did stitches in 3746 all around the frame. So that's done. I just got to put a backing on it, like kind of pull this around and then put like some felt or something. I don't know. My mom was going to take it. My mom was here last weekend and she was going to take it because it was done by the time she came over. She was like, oh, I'll take this home and put some backing. I was like, no, I have to show it on my Flosstube channel first. But yeah, I'll just have to put some backing on this and it'll be done. So yay, gotta finish. I don't think right now, I don't think I'm going to replace it with another new start because I still have 8 others I need to rotate through. So we'll hold, I think right now we'll hold off on replacing it with another new start. Next up is my work on until it's done. So yeah, work on until it's done piece. And this week it was Calendar Girls February. This was from the Calendar Girls series from Little House Needleworks from 2014. And let me see. I'm doing this with the Call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus. And she is done. I did 578 stitches on her. And wait, is she, okay. It was a shadow. I thought her skirt wasn't done. I was like, no. Yeah, no, she's done. So 578 stitches. Her little lock of hair coming down on her forehead, like just this second, made me, I feel like she has angry eyebrows. Like she's like pissed off. She is angry with the world, but that's okay. But yeah, so she is all done. My mom took my other ones home and she's going to finish them. I have like that little pillow thing, but she that they fit in. But she is going to kind of do like, not a flat fold, but she's gonna like finish them so that they can be changed out every month within a picture frame. I think she said she has like one of those little frame stand things. So I can just like switch it out every month. So that's gonna be cool. So before I show my last WIP, I was debating, okay, so this coming week is going to be, which I'll show when I show my WIPs for the week. But this week's finish piece is going, like work until it's done piece is going to be Grinch Gnome and Company. And then the following week would be when I would do another one of these. But I was kind of debating if I was going to be, so I don't have to worry about it for like 2 weeks. But I was kind of debating, like, should I keep going with the series or should I take a break from it and maybe pull out my gingerbread smalls from, what's it? Oh God, what is it? You know, the carousel and the train. If you're an old subscriber, you know which ones I'm talking about. The one, the carousel and the train, like I'm doing them all on one fabric, but I'm gonna finish them separately. Gingerbread smalls from 2022, I think it was, from, it's not Primrose, Twin Peaks Primitive, that one. So I was thinking about maybe pulling those out and finishing one of them and then going back and doing the Calendar Girl series. I think I might do that. So yeah, I think I might do that. Just give myself a little bit of a break from the Calendar Girls. So I've been working on them for like a long time. Okay. All right, so last up is going to be Honeymoon Sunset. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. And that is what it's gonna look like when it's done. I love this piece so much. Love it, love it, love it. I am currently working in the upper right-hand area, like this section. I was gonna say corner, but I'm like down here, so it's not really a corner anymore. But artwork is by Abraham Hunter, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. It's 869 by 649, and it has 133 colors. And there's gonna be 2 pictures that you're gonna see. I'll just go ahead and show the pictures now. The first picture is going to be the rest of the diagonal that I had to finish. So that's probably already on the screen. The next picture is the start of the next diagonal section that I started working on. So I'll show the top of it first to show you the diagonal that the part of the diagonal that I finished up here. And then I came back down, and I'll tell you my numbers in a minute. I came back down and started working on the next, I'm doing 2 diagonals at a time on this. Came back down, started working on the next 2 diagonal section. This week I did 1,508 stitches on it. So this, I had this chunk of the sand done, so I was kind of like trying to get this section completed before I stopped, but I just didn't get it done. There's not that many stitches left in this little area right here though, and then I'll be able to move up in here, and it'll probably go a little bit faster because this is like all sand right there, which isn't a lot of colors. So I'll probably get this filled in next week, and like I'm hoping I'll be able to get up at least maybe to here this coming week. I'm hoping, but I have done, so I said 1508 for the week. I'm going to hold it like this. Okay. I have done a total of 234,314 stitches out of 563,981. I am at 41.55% complete. Gotta show the whole thing. Okay. Here we go. So here's the whole thing so far. There's the palm tree that I hate so much. Hanging threads I don't give a rat's ass about. The bottom, that's the bottom left corner. Then I've worked across the top, worked in the middle too, but worked across the top. Focusing, doing diagonals from the upper right hand side. Look at that gazebo. looks so good. Look at the house. Looks so good. Look at the smoke coming out of the chimney. Look at the lighthouse. There's so much stuff. It's so much fun stuffs. And then bottom right hand corner is done as well. Let me get those park threads out of the way. Bottom right hand corner is done as well. So, but this is where my current diagonal is going to end. So we don't have that many more before my diagonals aren't starting at the edge. Because like wherever this area is, like it'll start, like I'll start stitching like up here instead of like down here. So that's cool. But yeah, yay! 41.55%. Not too shabby. Want 50% by the end of the year. If I keep going at this rate, I should finish probably December, but it won't be like crunching at the last minute trying to get it to the 50% on December the 31st, you know? Because like my goal for April is to get it to 42%. I'm already at 41.55%. So I just need 26. So 1% is 5,600 stitches and change. And so I just need like 2,300 stitches to get it to 42%. And I'll hit that in like 2 weeks. Because I'm keeping it out and working on it every week. So let me grab all my boards. We're going to update the boards. I'll be right back. Okay, let's get these boards updated. So first one up, we'll go ahead and do this little one here. So this has my extra new starts, my Whip of Shame, and then the 2 focus on a finished pieces. All right. So the first thing I'm going to update is the Calendar Girls February. I did 578 stitches this week. So this is going from 971 stitches done to 1,549. Whoopsies, my bad. You can't see that. And this project is done. Okay, next one has a line through it. Cat on Indian Carpet. I did 1,177 stitches to get my goal done. So this is going from 1,923 to 3,100. And my goal is dropping from 1,177 to done. How exciting. Okay, next up, we're gonna do the Monopoly boards. Okay, it's my focus piece board. So my full coverage focus to get to 1%. Date tonight, North America. I had 412 stitches. I did another 1,100. So we are now at, what is it, 1,000, wait. 412. 1,512 stitches. I didn't write that number down. And my goal is dropping. Like I said, I had written 1104 because technically it should be 16, but the math, whatever. I just needed 1,100 and I hit 1%. So this goal is dropping from 1104 to being, I can't spell. Done. Okay, next up is my non-full coverage to 4,000, Hive Rules. I had 300, I am adding 700 to that. So this is now 1,000, and my goal is dropping from 3,700 down to 3,000. And then my new start rotation, Friends Frame, I had 305 stitches. I did 1,150, so my total amount is now 1,455. My goal is actually, I got a finish on that, so my goal on this is now done. Yay! We got a lot of updating to do on the big board. And then Honeymoon Sunset, 50% by the end of 2025. Okay, so I had 20,895 stitches last week. I did another 1,508, so this is increasing to 22,403. And my goal is dropping from 49,185 down to 47,677. And my percentage complete is increasing from 41.28% to 41.55%. Yay! All right. Next up is the Monopoly Properties. I think I just have one on here that we have to update. Yes, Stitchography was for down here for Pennsylvania Avenue. Stitchography, I had 400 stitches. I did another 300, so this is increasing from 400 to 700. And my goal is dropping from 3,600 down to 3,300. So if you're new, once these hit 4,000 stitches, they will get switched out for another project. And then depending on where they are regarding their finish status, like if they're close to being done, they'll go into the pile to be to be a candidate for a focus on a finish. Okay, this board here, B&O Railroad, Mother Nature Christmas. This was the first time I've gotten to work on it since we started playing Monopoly this year. I did 400 stitches on it, and my goal is dropping from 4,000 stitches down to 3,600. And then the last Monopoly piece to update is Catching Rays. I had 800. I'm adding another 200 to it, so this is increasing from 800 to 1,000. And my goal is dropping from 3,200 down to 3,000. Yay! All right. So those are those boards. Okay. Got my Blue's Clues marker. Need a handy, well, oh no, I have a handy dandy notebook. I just don't use this marker with it. Okay, so here's my finishes board. So we're gonna add both of my finishes on here. I questioned myself for a second. I was like, wait, did I? Yeah, okay. We're gonna add both of my finishes on here. So first finish is going to be Calendar Girls February. And then the second finish is going to be the Friends Frame. 7 finishes so far this year. Not too shabby, considering these new plans started, technically it was December, but my new plans, my new plans started before January the 1st, I know, but it's fine. 7 finishes this year, since mid-December. Okay, here's the big board that we're gonna see if we can make it look like a government paper by the end of the year with all the blackouts. Okay, so the things that we have to mark off, we got 4 things to mark off this week. So first one we're gonna mark off because I saw it right away, Calendar Girls February. This was a finish. Okay, my Whip of Shame, I got that goal done. So Cat on Indian Carpet. Hey, let's try that again. Do I need a new marker? Is this getting dried out? Okay, and then we need to do Friends Frame. Wow. Where is it? Down here. Right there. And then the fourth one, Day to Night North America, over here. Oh my God. Holy cow. Okay, Day to Night North America right here. I think my marker might be drying out, guys. I might have to get a new one. But there we go. Yay! So I need to add 2 projects to this, but we'll add those in a minute. Okay. The projects I have to add are 2 replacement pieces. One is going to be the replacement piece for the full coverage for 1%, and the other one is the Whip a Shame for the month of April. Let me get them. Okay, I was gonna grab the other 2 as well, like not the other 2, but I was gonna grab like all 4 pieces, like the 2 for the Whip a Shame and the 2 for the 1% that you guys were voting between. But I didn't feel like digging through and trying to find them, so we're just gonna announce the winners. So the Whip a Shame for the month of April, you guys had a choice between Frederick and Once Upon a Time. And the winner, drum roll please, this was like a ridiculous amount. It was like 58 to 74 voting. Once Upon a Time. I think she's come in the running like 2 or 3 times and she always gets beat. So she finally won. So this will be my Whip a Shame for the month of April. I'll show you the starting point when I go over my whips. The winner for the full coverage, so the replacement piece for the 1%. You guys were voting between Be Still from the Cross Stitch Studio and Toy Shop from Pain Free Crafts. That one was super close. It was 58 to 58. I had to wrangle in a vote from one of my coworkers today. I was telling her I couldn't decide which one. Nobody at work knows I have a Flosstube, but one of my coworkers, she's really into my stitching. She loves hearing about it. And so I tell her about my plans, but she doesn't know I post about it online. I just tell her that I do it with my stitchy friends. So I was telling her that I was having my friends vote and it was tied. And so I was telling her what the pieces were, and I pulled them up online to show her because they're both full coverages. So I was able to, oh no, I had a picture of that's right. I had a picture of the cover photos and I showed her the cover photos and I told her what the plan was. And so she said that she was voting for this one so I could get to 1% faster. The winner was Toy Shop by Pain Free Crafts. So I will show you my starting point for that. I will be working on that this coming week as well. So before we spin to find out my weekly stuff, let's go ahead and pull out the giant board again because I need to add those 2 onto this list. So what are we at? 84? Once Upon a Time. And Toy Shop. So once those goals get done, those will get crossed off. Okay. I'll do the math in a minute regarding how many stitches I need to get to 1% for Toy Shop. I know I'm working on that, so we're not going to do a full coverage spin. My new start pick let me real quick take off Friends Frame. Okay, so the new start rotation, all the ones I've worked on since I started using my little wheel have been blacked out. Spicy Disaster. I'll remember that. And then the non-full coverage, everything's been selected, so I'm gonna reset the wheel. If it's Hive Rules again, I won't be mad. Mermaid Style. Oh, how exciting. Is that all I had to do? Because I already have, yeah, because I already have my, my full coverage that I'm working on. So let me go grab those projects and we'll go over what I'm working on next week. Okay, so this week, I'm gonna keep working on Honeymoon Sunset, and the Whip of Shame for the month of April. I don't know if I'm gonna start working on it early or if I'm gonna wait until April the 1st. I'll probably wait until April the 1st. So Whip of Shame for the month of April is gonna be Once Upon a Time by Jan Lynn. And so I think I had mentioned before that it says it comes with beads, blending filament, and metallic thread. And it says that on there, and I don't have any of it, but when I was looking at it, it's like a pearl blending filament, a gold metallic thread, and gold beads. I can get that very easily, so I'm not worried about it. So let's go over this real quick. This is my starting point with it. It's being stitched 2/2 on a 28 count white Monaco. So that is my starting point. I have been, when I'm working on these, I've actually honestly been trying to work on a lot of the background. This is pretty close to the top, so I may try to work all the way up to the top and get some of that border stitched in that goes around the edge. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. My next Flosstube, you should see probably about, it'll be on a Thursday, so you'll see probably a couple hundred stitches on it because the 1st is Tuesday. So I'll film on the 3rd. So you'll probably see about 200 stitches on this. Next up is my non-full coverage Focus to 4000, and this is the Mermaids of the Season Stitch Along by Bella Filipina. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. So 4,000 stitches, I had said that I decided while I was working on it earlier that once I hit 1,000 stitches, I was going to do 1,000 stitches in each mermaid. So I had done 1,000 stitches in the Summer Mermaid, and I think what I'd like to do is the second 1,000, I would like to try to go down to the Winter Mermaid because I hit 1,000 stitches. So that's my starting point. So I want to try to come down here. So this coming week, you're probably just going to be seeing a crap ton of border because I have to get down to a point where I can count over. So I'll probably end up bringing this border down to try to see if I can get over to a point where it's easier to count from, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, that's my starting point with them, since multiple hers. And where's my bag? I'll go over like fabrics and all that and what I'm using when I show it next week. Okay. Next up is my new start rotation. This is Spicy Disaster. It's a kit from Leisure Arts. It says, "I'm not a hot mess, I'm a spicy disaster." It's super cute. And It comes with a hoop, but I decided not to stitch it in the hoop. I'm just stitching it in hand like I usually do. And that is my starting point. So we'll see how much I can get done. I feel like this might end up being like the Friends frame, where once I like can really get some good work on it, I will probably get this done before that 3,000 stitch goal is done, like the 3,000 for the new starts. I'm hoping this will be done before that 3,000 is up. Next is going to be the full coverage focus to 1%. Let me show you a picture of the cover photo again, just in case you forgot in the past couple minutes, because I don't remember how long ago that was. Okay, Toy Shop, Retired Chart by Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Steve Crisp. That is what it's gonna look like when it's done. I'm in the upper left-hand corner up there. So I don't usually, oh wait, no, my full coverage is, I tend to say what my starting point is. So let me show it the right orientation. There we go. So that's my starting point. I have 500 stitches done out of 270,000. I'm at 0.19%. If I did the math correctly, I need 2,200 stitches to get to 1%. That won't happen this week. I will not get 2,200 stitches, but I would like to try to do a bunch of stitching on it. Maybe shoot for 1,000 like I've been able to do on some of these other projects. So that would be cool. Next up is my work on till it's finished piece. Oh, here it is. This is Grinch Gnome and Company by Maya Stitch. I gotta find it first. Hang on. Oh, here it is. And here is a picture of the mock-up. Stop it. Without the back stitching. I got this on Etsy. And this is my starting point with it. Back stitching, so the middle one is done. I'm starting off at 3,774 stitches out of 5,472. I'm at 68.97% done with the stitching. Not the back stitching. That's not counted in those numbers. Middle gnome is completely done. The Grinch gnome is stitched. He just needs to have his back stitching finished. And last time I worked on this, I came over and started working on, I think Rita said that this is Cindy Lou. So what I'll probably do this week is maybe try to finish the back stitching on him so that all I have left to do is her. We'll see. I might change my mind and just work on her again. And then save all the back stitching for the end because I'm a sucker. Okay. Next up is the last three pieces are from Monopoly. These are the half of the stitches I didn't get to do. So this is Botanical Blackwork. This was a stitch along from the Steady Thread. It was through Facebook. This was from 2022. Here's a mock-up of the layout of the pieces. And here's my starting point. So I'm working in this block here. It's going to come up and around to there. This needs 400 stitches. I do count my back stitching and my blackwork stitching. Basically, if so when I count it, like you see how that where I'm pointing at right here, this one thread right here goes from the bottom of this Ada block to the top of the Ada block next to it. That technically goes over 2 blocks, and so I would count that as 1 stitch. But this tiny little guy right here it just goes from the top to the bottom of 1/8 block, so that's half a stitch. So it would be 2 of those, like that one there and that one there, half and half. I would do those 2 and count that as 1. So it's like basically however many blocks it goes over, I divide that by 2. So if it goes over 4 blocks, that counts as 2 stitches. And I do that with the specialty stitches as well. Like if I'm doing like Algerian eyelets or something and it goes over, one leg goes over four blocks of stitching, I would count that leg as 2 stitches. So that needs 400. Next up is Unicorn by Teresa Winsler. That one there. And this is my starting point. My fabric is folded in half. This needs 100 stitches. And then the last Monopoly piece is Dreaming of Autumn Leaves. This is by Rosewood Manor. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point. And I need to do 400 stitches on this. So that's everything I'm going to be working on. When I come back next week, I'll show you the gingerbread smalls that I was talking about earlier, that I'm going to take a break from the Calendar Girls. I think what I'll do is I'll take a break from the Calendar Girls and I'll put the gingerbread smalls, one of the pieces, into rotation, and then whichever one gets done, either the Grinch gnome or the gingerbread small, once one of those gets done, I'll go back and I'll pick another Calendar Girl, and then when the other piece gets done, then I have another gnomes piece that I was going to pull into the mix to get that done. Or maybe I'll go back to another gingerbread, because I have like 3 of them started out of the 9. I have 3 of them started. I don't know. We'll see. That's in the future. That's a future gen problem. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. Take care. Happy stitching. Get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.